Hi, Leather Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. And this is my tabby boy. I'm going to set him down for a second. I'm going to do a get ready with me for New Year's Eve for the people who are thinking about actually going out tonight, or the people who are going to get dressed up because they're doing some kind of Skype or Zoom party, or video chatting, or making YouTube videos, or going on MySpace, or any of the ways that people want to be safely connecting with each other, and you might feel like being a festive, oops, don't dig my boogers up with my nose. Thank you, tabby boy. I just read that we're not supposed to be digging boogers up because it makes you more likely to get COVID. So don't do that to me. Does tabby boy seem like he's looking skinnier in the face to you? He has been sneezing yesterday and today, and his head's starting to look like he's losing weight in the head, but he's not losing weight in the body. But I'm getting concerned. The last thing I need is health problems to my dear pussycat, and I sure as heck can't afford vet stuff. So keep our fingers crossed that he's not getting sick, because I can't. That can't be. We can't pay bills. We sure can't pay vet bills. So please, you can't be sick. I want to show you what I'm going to get changed into. This is a gown. At first, I thought that it was all sequined up, but it's not sequined. And there's a real interesting story about how I acquired it. And I believe I did try it on once, but it's probably for somebody who's about 8 feet tall. But I've been holding on to it with the intention of using it for YouTube. And so I am going to put this on. I'm wearing what I often wear around the house right now. This is one of my father's Steelers sweatshirts. Today, New Year's Eve, also happens to be the 12-year anniversary of my father dying. Thanks a lot, Dad, ruining a holiday for us. So I'm going to both be honoring my father, and so I might tell a few stories about growing up with being my father's daughter, and I guess it would help if I unhooked the thing so that I could put this on. So I'm not expecting to get the help of anybody. And this has a zipper, which I'm glad I looked at it. I usually keep this zipped up in one of those special garment bags that I have reserved only for really, really long dresses that would be suitable for, funerals or any time when I have to be really, really respectable looking. So, all right, I'm going to flip this camera up a little bit, and then I'm going to put this thing on. So, we should be very fortunate that I was able to do today's stream, and I'll tell you why. A few minutes ago, I did something very stupid. A few minutes ago, I got my buckle of my shoe caught on this computer cord, and my computer came crashing down from my stand-up desk onto my carpeted floor, and the screen went blank. And it just so happens over a day ago, I was getting one of those notifications that I needed to do the update. So it went through its update, and I didn't do any damage, thank goodness. I still need to call Best Buy and take all my electronics in. I definitely want to take this in before its warranty expires. Okay. I'm also going to take off. I'm actually wearing trousers underneath this, but just for the sake of having something to cover my butt during the turnaround, I'm going to take these trousers off now. And another thing I'm going to do that's probably odd, but I'm sure I'm not the first person to do this, because this dress would otherwise drag on my carpet, and my carpet is not what you call sanitized. And the last thing I want to do is dirty this dress. It was such a hassle to wash it. I washed this by hand, and it was very, very, very awkward and unpleasant. But because I am a germaphobe, I would not bring something in the house and not wash it. Well, with very few exceptions. If it was from a good friend of mine, I probably wouldn't think twice about just putting it on. But I didn't know the backstory behind this dress. For all I knew, well, I'm not going to offer conjecture, but one of the things I'm going to do after I zip it up, I'm actually going to tie the bottom hem of this dress in a big knot so that it cannot get dirty on my carpet. I tend to be very careful of the clothes that I put on just for my YouTube videos. If all I did was put it on and wear it for the duration of a video, then I almost never would be washing them again, unless I got them really, really, really sweaty, or if I was handling the cats. This is really going to be a challenge too. Boy, this is long. But I think that tying it up in a knot would be the smartest way to keep it from touching the ground, because once any part of this fabric touches the carpet, I'm a real germaphobe, and I'll tell you right now, I would be getting it in soapy water and washing that corner of it that got dirty, just like if my blankets fall off my bed when I'm sleeping and I wake up and I see that it's dragging on the ground. I can't put that blanket back on my bed. I'm thinking that's touched the ground. That's filthy dirty. I'm not going to have it touching my skin any more than I go to bed dirty. You know, there's just things you don't do. Okay, if this looks stupid, it looks stupid. But you know what? I don't want it opening up, because once this touches the ground, forget it. Okay. Oh boy. And needless to say, this is not my size either. But, you know, for New Year's Eve, I am imagining more of an ideal life than a real life right now. Okay, this is, yeah, I can't even zip it up all the way, because the way I tied it up, it's all off center. So let's pretend that it's much more proper than it actually is. And I'm going to pull my stand-up desk back so that I can get what should be, in theory, better light. So I could start putting on some makeup and things like that. As you can tell, or maybe not, my eyebrows are already done and my foundation is already done. For my foundation, I've been using product from The Ordinary. This says serum foundation, and it is in fact what I'm using. They have their coverage foundation and they have their serum foundation. Most of the time I don't bother wearing foundations, because you're doing your face mask thing, and a lot of times the foundation rubs off on the inside of it, and you have to be real careful cleaning your makeup off the inside of face masks, because you don't want to use so much roughness on them that you damage them and make them less effective. Even though hopefully if you have anything less than the N95, you have some kind of filter underneath them which will boost their effectiveness. So this was my eyebrow color, and this was the brush that I used this was my foundation color. This was the brush that I used to apply my eyebrow color. Normally I had been using two colors that I mixed with this palette, but yesterday and today I decided that I would mix two colors from the Too Faced palette. They have this fuchsia looking color and then this really dark, dark, dark metallic purple color. I'm probably not going to do these colors again, since these formulas are not as powdery as the matter formulas, and it just doesn't show off as much. I had to end up going back over my eyebrows with this color here. When I took some stills, my eyebrows were not showing up that much, and that wasn't acceptable. I know this is not a perfectly ideal color match. The colors that I had as a perfect or more perfect match were two liquid purple lip colors that dry, that are good for mask wearing. I got one from Ulta and one from Sephora, and the other was I forget. But anyway, both of them I'm running low on, so I have been using alternate methods. But these are not waterproof, so don't think that you can go swimming in them. First thing I'm going to do is prep my eyelids, and almost anything from here will work. Oh, man, I'm really worried about Tabby Boy. He's looking so thin in the face. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you will note that there is a video about Ace the cat. I made a video about how he was looking thin and fragile and old looking. Exactly a week after making that video, he was dying in my arms, and that is a very sad video. I'm sure they're under the playlist that says cat videos. Okay, I'm using to prep my eyelids. I'm using a company called Sassy Lady, SACE. They're from China. And this is supposed to be a concealer. It's in the lightest color they make, number 101, but it's not light enough for me. So if you're really, 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 really extremely white, then you can use this, but I would recommend using something closer to white on the brow bone. I'm carrying this a little bit underneath the eyes since that will make it easier for any other powder color to adhere. I am going to go and get a whiter color in that bag for my brow bone. Like I said, I don't always do this. Really, the eyeshadow will probably cover it up. And now, if you're not extremely, extremely pale, you don't need to do this step. I'm doing it because I have the products. This is from Ben Nye. It's their cream makeup, and I really love this. I've had this over 10 years. I know with your cream foundations and things, they don't have the shelf life of your powders, but guess what? It smells fine. This stuff is not cheap. When I bought it, it said $5.99. This was over 10 years ago, and this was on an after Halloween sale. The last time I was in New York City, and I know how long it's been since I've been there. I'm sure it's a heck of a lot more expensive than that. But real Ben Nye is made for theater people, for actors, for people that are performers, for people that are under the hot lights who sweat. So is Max Factor, or at least it was originally. And when I lived in Los Angeles full time, I used to go to the Max Factor store, and that's where I used to get my foundation. And they had this really amazing foundation that when you sweated, your sweat beads would go through it and just drip off, and it would not disturb the makeup. And I thought that was just the most amazing thing. And they had a color that was light enough for me. And I think they also had white face that you can mix with your foundation to tweak it to get it more exact. Now, I'm going to get close to the wall so that you can get a closer look. Oh, and if this falls down, I'm wearing a long line bra underneath it, so I don't have to worry about any wardrobe malfunctions. Last thing I want is for YouTube to find another reason to age list more of my videos. That's kind of ridiculous. You know, when they age list our videos, that means that they can never put ads on them, and it hurts us in the pocketbook initially. I mean, ultimately. So now, I'm trying to decide on what colors I wanted to use today. I'm thinking, okay, it is New Year's Eve, but it is also, for me, really weird since I can't help but think of my father. Now, what I'm probably going to do after I do this, there is a slight chance. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so worried about him. I'm thinking of there's a slight chance that I might actually go out after this since I'm doing this nice and early. I might possibly change into something a lot less formal and probably warmer. I have a couple of pay slips for the Tropicana Casino, and it would give me an excuse to do some walking around and see if anybody's doing anything. Maybe there will be some humanity out there, or maybe somebody that I know on Facebook will say that they're doing something. So, and for the people, in case anybody read the recent comments on some videos I did, don't worry, I'm not about to go over to visit somebody in their hotel room when I don't even know who they are. I would not even consider that. I was just being polite. I know some people read a lot of the comments and because, well, it's interesting to read what other people have to say, and sometimes it gives you more of a learning about the person, but I was not raised to be stupid. And I can count on probably one hand how many times I took chances, and I always am very, very, very calculated when I take my chances. Okay, one thing I'm going to do now that's going to be out of order that I usually do things, just so that I look more festive for earlier in the video. I'm going to use a liquid lip color that will dry down and is mask friendly. It's from a brand most people probably in America haven't heard of. It's called Kma Do. I believe they're made in China. So I don't know if I'm going to be buying more for them, since in China they are allowed to. In fact, they're required to test on animals. I didn't know this until a few months ago, and I feel kind of crappy about that. The reason why I specifically have been investigating non-American brands is due to the fallout from the wokeness and the Buy from us and we'll donate money to Black Lives Matter. Buy from us, we'll donate to the NAACP. Buy from us, we'll donate to Southern Poverty Law Center, who is, by the way, a terrorist group, and they accuse some good groups of being terrorist organizations. So don't be fooled by the charities that are out there. Do your due diligence, please. So anyway, I'm going to put this color on. It just says 08. And I'm going to use a mirror so that I don't take a chance with using that. Another thing I want to talk to you about is I don't know how much longer I'll be able to keep these braids in because they're really dreading up in the back. When they dread up, they get hard and felt like, and whenever I snag up against them, I'm breaking hairs off. And it's very bad because obviously I love my long hair and I don't want it to break off. I'm going to try for a few more weeks. I have rubber bands to put beads on them, and I could put beads on them. But, you know, since the election, I have not been feeling very festive. I'm sure you guys can understand that. And I have not been going out of the house much. So I felt little reason to go through that kind of effort. Not that the people who watch my videos are not worth it. You guys are very important to me. It is very comforting to know that what I have to say is of interest to anybody at all outside of my immediate family and a few close friends. And I've actually made friends through having this YouTube channel. And through this YouTube channel, I have gotten to share my life with you. And my cats, I know, give a lot of joy to people. You know, don't you hate it when, if you're just running out to check the mail or something, you throw your lipstick on, you have no problem with it. But when you actually want it to look decent, like for a video or something, it can take so long and be crooked, and God, that's so annoying. It's like, I've only been putting on lipstick since I was too young to put on lipstick, right? You know? What do you think? I'm going to have to be real careful with this cord because I keep on tripping on it, and dropping these computers is never good. But let's get started with the eyeshadows. And now I have to get my brushes. Hold that thought. Okay. I'm going to do, I haven't really given a lot of thought to the kind of look I'm going to do for this. I can't help but have my own feelings and emotions play into this because today for me is a somber day. My brother played taps around noon today. My mother actually shut off her alarm clock, did not get up. I made coffee, but I sure as hell wasn't going to wake her up early. If people are all feeling kind of depressed and stuff, I don't see the point of making things harder for them. Okay, I am going to dip into the B&H Cosmetics Color Festival palette, and I'm going to use the very palest shade they have. It's called Disco. It looks white, but it's actually a very pale rose gold. And I'm going to use an Ulta Beauty eyeshadow brush that I got last year. And I'm going to treat probably the upper third of my eyelid space from the brow bone. Going to get more. I probably could have used a thicker, fluffier blending brush, but I really want to make sure that all the moistness that I put on the eyelid doesn't keep me from being able to do the blending. I'm going to repeat on the other side. I think I'm going to go for a smoky eye. It's kind of how I'm feeling. Plus, a smoky eye, the great thing about them is, you know how when you do elaborate eye looks and your face, when you blink your eyelids and stuff, your eyes start to blend anyway. If you do a smoky eye, then it doesn't matter how much you're blinking your eyes and moving and being expressive as you go about your day. your makeup doesn't seem like it's changed as much. I used to, when I first started doing makeup tutorials, I would actually do them when I was coming home from a nightclub. I'd been out dancing and I'd had my makeup on already for at least 4 or 5 hours, if not longer. And you got to figure that there's a lot of blending that happens naturally when that happens. And even though most of the time I would take a look at it and I would touch it up a little bit before going on camera, still, when my first format, I used to take the makeup off of one eye and replicate it on camera, and that was so hard to get the eyes to match. It took some confidence in my feeling ready to show myself more or less unmade up to do the start to finish thing. And once I got over that, then so I'm sure that if you look at some of your favorite beauty YouTubers, if you look at their early videos, you'll find that their formats changed. I am going to look at another color here. I think I am going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with this pink here. It's called Bangers, and I'm going to use the B&H Cosmetics Studio Pro 17 brush and load it real good. And I'm going to go just under where I put the white to my natural crease and load it up and do it again. And you're probably not going to be able to see it too well, but I'm going to do it on the other side. I really want to make sure that when I do the dark crease, the dark smoky color, it can be blended so that it doesn't look like I've got my eyes punched. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm almost covering my eyelid now. I'm carrying this down to almost the lash line. And I'm going to bring this up against, well, I'm going to unplug, bring this up against the wall and see if, so this is kind of subtle. Now that's all about to change. Okay, let me put the plug back in. This computer is pretty good for battery life, but it's, just so you know, when I do the unbraiding, I am going to do a video about that. Then I'm going to have big hair for a while, and I'm going to do some videos on that. And then I'm going to have to really work out the dreading up the knots up against my scalp. Every time, my scalp is itchy all the time, and you can't get it wet when it's like this. If I got my hair wet when it's all natted up, it will be like felt, and it will be almost impossible to undo. And you hear all the time of people who can't get their hair undone and they end up shaving their heads and doing everything. And I am a long-haired girl. I am never going to go short. I'm not saying other people can't be cute with short hair, but it's not my trip. It's not my image, and I will never have other than the long hair that I have. It's really, really, really important to me. Okay, where am I? Uh-oh, this is knotting up. This is undoing. I don't want this to drip on my floor. My mother is saying maybe I should just belt it up or something, but I thought that would look stupid. I thought that tying it would be better. But you know what? Maybe belting it would be a good idea. But I don't have any belts in my room, I don't think. Oh, crap. You know what? This is a real pain in the butt, let me tell you. The things that people do just to make a good video, not that the end result isn't worth it, but I'm just telling you, you think you're going to have everything figured out, and then guess what? And this is what this is looking like now, if you want to see. Yeah. Oh, please don't undo. Please don't. Oh, jeez. Okay, now, gonna get another brush here. I'm gonna get another smaller brush. This is another B&H Cosmetics Studio Pro 17. Okay. I'm gonna get this up against the wall more, where in theory the light should be better. And I'm going to get this, and this color is called VIP. And I'm going to concentrate as close to the lash line as possible. Actually trying to go for subtle here. I don't try to do subtle too much. It's okay to sweep. Gonna hit it again. Okay, hold that thought. If I'm a minute or two, do not run away. I'll be here. Oh, I'm back. I know that was a little bit unprofessional of me, but in life, when you see opportunities, you have to go for it. So, hey, speaking of which, follow me into another room here for a minute. Yeah. So yeah, I am thinking of taking a little walk after I do this, but yeah, wonder what's going on here in town. One of the things, if you want to hear a little not so juicy local gossip, there were some people that were planning on doing some New Year's Eve events. As you know, Governor Phil Murphy said that everything has to close up by 10 o'clock tonight. So any parties people have, they can't be in the public places because they have to take it indoors or wherever after 10 p.m. So some people that I knew were involved with some local music promoters and were going to do something, but plans fell through. I think a lot of people are afraid that there's about to be another big wave of COVID, and people were going to be traveling from New York City, and they decided that they were afraid to take the chance. So I can totally understand people not wanting to take a chance. Can't you? You know what? Give me a minute here. I will be right back. They want to see you. They say, I want to see that baby. They want to see you. Oh, look what I got. Look what I got. Look what I got. Oh, look what I got. Oh, boy, look what I got. Look who I got. I got my cat. Oh, the baby. I got my baby. Look who I got my baby. My sweetheart. My sweetheart. I gave him an empty can of cat food, or half a can of cat food, all to himself today. I closed the door so nobody can run in and get it. Well, I was making a hot dog, and half a hot dog fell down, and Cassie got that. So, no, the casinos are not closed. Atlantic City, heads up, Atlantic City casinos are not closed at all. However, they stopped indoor food and beverage things, services after 10 o'clock. You cannot get beverage served like when you're drinking, when you're playing a slot machine. You are not allowed to walk around eating and drinking. They do have takeout things. You can do takeout only. Uh, um, you know what? I had the most kind of delightful thing to wake up to. I hope this doesn't get me in trouble for under 18 people looking at you. So if your kids don't look away. I got up this morning and I was making coffee and I was being quiet because I didn't want to disturb my mother. And look what I found. that means I'll have a little bit for my head. Not much, but that is something. Yeah. That's, there's so many things I used to do when I was younger that I don't do anymore. I don't do hard drugs. Okay. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I'm really on my good behavior. It's not because I'm a goody two shoes. It's because I want to stay alive. Okay. And I know that I am much better, much safer when I'm out in public. I'm not I'm not as vulnerable if I run into bad people. In a way that if you're drinking alcohol, then you can go along with and find yourself in situations that are very hard to get out of. And people that would never be attractive to you when you're sober, all of a sudden people look hot when you're drunk. No, I feel so much better about my life knowing that I can look after myself better. Oh, and I heard when my mother was calling her bank, by the way, finding out about something or another, that the stimulus checks for $600 are going through for some people. People who have bank accounts, people who have direct deposit, that would be people like my mother. However, that is not going to help anybody like me because I don't have a bank account. And as far as the government goes, I mean, it's not like the government can think that I don't exist. I did get a Cenex check for a Halle Berry movie that I worked on over a year ago here in town. And that reminds me, I have to contact Central Casting and ask them to correct the name that they sent that check under. When they reissue that check, that'll mean that I will have another 180 days during which I can get to the DMV and get my updated current photo ID so that it will make my life so much easier for me when I do that. Boy, having all those shoes up against this door really makes it a bit of a hassle to. Oh, I want to show you something. I want to show you a pair of booties that I acquired yesterday. Look at them. They're not real high. They're only like not even 3 inches tall. So, and even though they're pointy-toed shoes, which would be kind of painful, I got them in a half a size larger than I usually wear. Oh, I don't know why you know what? I intended to do something and I forgot to do it. So hold on. I apologize that I'm being so disorganized. All right, I'm back. I realized this is what I wanted to bring in, and I'm not grinding coffee. I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube censors and everything, but you know what? A girl's got to live, right? And this thing is falling down. This is ridiculous. But this is live, and this is my real life. And you know what? Even though this is falling down and stuff, and even though this all looks pretty cool, I think. Oh, I wanted to show you something before I finish. I haven't finished my makeup, but I wanted to show you something else that I got. I think I showed you this already. Oh, I don't know if I showed you this yet or not. Yeah, I showed you this when I was talking about the wish order I did. I finally got most of the things in, except for this multicolored sparkly face mask that was kind of had some rainbow colors in it. And I think I'm going to get a blue one, a dark acid trip blue, like one of my friend's cars. I call it acid trip blue. I think that would be a good colored face mask to get, because all they're saying that we're going to be wearing face masks for another year. Anyway, this is what I showed you 2 days ago. I got these, and this is the ring. And this is the pendant necklace. Before you think that I really treated myself, this was so cheap you would laugh. This was the set, even with the shipping and the taxes, I think was under $6. All right. But it was looking really pretty, and I guess I needed what they call retail therapy. And I'm thinking that there's going to be a time when this is going to be in our rearview mirror, and we're going to want to think about happy times and being able to go places with people again. And I love how the colors of this veer from a blue-green to a purple. And I wear a lot of colors in those hues. And sure, why not? I mean, what do I do with my life? Way I see it, for that, I could have paid for a couple of round trip bus fares to go out to see a free show at the Golden Nugget or something. And since they are not doing anything, oh, I know what I wanted to tell you guys. Some of you know this, some of you don't know this. Hey, Jeff, I was just going to mention this. Guess who's playing a show tonight? You guys know who this band is? Kiss is playing a special New Year's Eve goodbye show. Want to hear the drum roll? In Dubai. That's right. I know Jeff knows who Kiss is. And I know Jeff has Kiss on vinyl. Of course, so do I. But Jeff has something I don't have. Jeff has a turntable. I don't have a turntable. So guess what? I can't talk about vinyl. Jeff can. Well, so Kiss is playing a concert in Dubai tonight. And of course, because most people can't get to Dubai, most people are not supposed to be traveling anyway, you can pay for a video thing. And don't you know, I just dropped the darn clasp on this. Damn it. So I'm going to find another clasp because that's what I do. All right. Yes, because I'm prepared. Leather Rokk is prepared. And I'm losing my dress. I'd rather lose it than have it fall on this filthy floor. Okay, I'm going to find a clasp for this. And hopefully in here. Oh, yes, okay. It's not matching the other clasp, but you know what? You're not supposed to get close enough to me to tell that I've got the wrong clasp on my earring, because then you're closer than 6 feet. Yeah. Even Crossley has these little $99 things. One thing I like about them is they're nice and small. Now, before I bought the only car that I ever owned, my intention was to get the top of the line hi-fi. That's what we call them in those days. And I figured for about 18 grand, I could get a state-of-the-art hi-fi system. But then I realized if I wanted to move to California, I'd probably need a vehicle. So I ended up spending $16,000 on my sports car, and that ended up being stolen by a rat bastard boyfriend who's dead, and I can't even get even with the son of a bitch. Oh. Hey, my words may be a little harsh, but Grand Theft Auto is not nice to do to somebody, and I don't need to be polite about it. Because I'm not watching the thing. I'm not spending money. I didn't find out about till today. On Facebook, I got the watch notification about Paul Stanley, something. They're in, and then I read the past 6 days posts. I just found out about it. I have been so busy. Well, you can tell me yourself. You have a life. You're running a YouTube channel. I'm sure you're doing your show prep for it. I don't know what your system is, but I plan things out. Maybe not always for the month in advance, but I get an idea of what I want to cover during the month. And sometimes I don't know what I'm going to go on until my makeup's on and I'm all ready. Other times I have it all planned out, but I'm on YouTube time, and that means that I can't follow everything. And between all this COVID news and the political stuff, even without the distraction of having cable television anymore, I still am not up to date on everything that I should. So there are things that sometimes my mother scoops things that I don't see because she gets notifications from Comcast, like headlines, and she gets on demand movies and stuff. But really, sometimes she tells me things. So let me get back to this since I'm doing everything at once. I'm going back into this color, which is called VIP. And I can see this is a little too subtle for me. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to sweep a little bit more because, you know, subtle's not my bag. And I'm going to do the other side. But yeah, I found out that they were doing this. And to use Dubai, where is it? And I know that Dubai is a very, very rich country. And I know that since all these touring bands are not able to tour this year and they're losing money, both themselves and all the crew people and all the other businesses that are supported by traveling band, the merchandisers, the catering, there's a whole lot of businesses aside from rock and roll that are supported when a band goes on tour. And as a matter of fact, since the records that bands make are not really their bread and butter, what makes them money is the touring, the merchandising, all the things that are going on. And with COVID, all these people, the sound people, are out of work. So now more than ever, I can understand them finding other ways to do this, make a living. Not that they need money themselves. I'm sure Kiss has enough money for 10 lifetimes, but there are people who depend on them that are considered the bigger Kiss family, the roadies and everybody. And for that reason, now that they're doing, they also have funds set aside to help unemployed sound people, all the other businesses associated with touring music. Okay, does this look better? Has more, but I'm going to have to do some eyeliner and mascara and all that bullshit. And I would just use a mascara that I've been using that is very nice. It does the job. For eyeliner, I'm going to use this supposedly waterproof. I think it is. I haven't really given it the acid test, which would be my going out and filming. And that's when I really don't want to look like hell. Alice Cooper has a time and place, but I'm not Alice Cooper. I love Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper is in his 70s, and I know he's a happily married man, but he's fucking hot. I've seen him. Well, thank you. Well, I'm not as old as Alice Cooper. He's like 70 something. So, I mean, compared to him, I mean, hey, but Alice Cooper, he's like, we're not worthy. I saw him up close. Incidentally, Hollywood story here. I was really pissed off that the Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, the Metal Years, had been playing at this movie theater closest to where I lived, and they'd just taken it off and in favor, and then they started playing Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I was really pissed off because I really wanted to see this movie. And as a matter of fact, some of my friends got in it. And it was about the 80s hair metal bands of the era, including Wasp. Alice Cooper was interviewed. Kiss was interviewed. Anybody who played in the 80s did the hair metal was in that movie. So I did not get into the movie. However, I found out that there was a party at the estates of one of the police. I forget which one it was. It may have been the drummer. It may have been Stuart Copeland or the other Copeland. I don't remember. You know how many years ago this was. It was in, And anyways, I managed to get in. A whole bunch of the crowd was pushing this gate, and I happened to be close to the people that were pushing it, so I got in. But by the time I got there, there was a bunch of melting ice statues, and almost all the food was eaten. But the one high part of this is I got to see Alice Cooper up close without his makeup on, and I thought he looked very attractive. He looked like he does. This long-haired guy, not very, very young looking, but very hot. And, the older I get, I realize that people can be attractive at all age points. It's really quite delightful. And some men really do grow into their looks. I mean, you could see, look at pictures of Aerosmith, and their very, very youngest days, even Joe Perry, as hot as he is, he looks better now than I think the very, very youngest pictures of him I saw. Some people just do get better looking with age. Some people, even with all the drug experiences and adventures they had, they're doing pretty good. So I'm going to put this on, and it's really good to shake these things in case that's what actually makes them waterproof. That very well might be the case. I'm going to do a very light coat on the top of my lids. So, but I think I'm going to go to the Tropicana Hotel Casino in a couple hours, and I have two slot change things. One of them's for like 21 cents, and the other's like for maybe 7 cents. And so you probably laugh and think, what the hell am I going outside for a quarter? And then some. But you know what? It is New Year's Eve, and who knows? What if I saw by chance somebody I knew on the street, like some homeless person or something? It warmed up a little bit. It had gotten so cold. It was close to 31 degrees, I believe, a couple days ago. And I went outside, and of course, I was not wearing gloves and I wasn't wearing a coat. I was just wearing a light jacket, and my fingers got bitterly numb, kind of not frostbitten, but it felt like you're handling frozen foods in your freezer. But it was worth my while to go outside. Somebody had a frozen turkey that they didn't need, and they offered me. So that'll take care of Easter, even though in my family, usually for Christmas and for Easter, usually we're ham people. And then Thanksgiving, of course, we're turkey. But since it's Thanksgiving, I didn't have turkey. I used 2 big chickens. So, but that's our Easter taken care of. That's the great thing about having a big freezer. If you can make the investment and you have the space, I very highly recommend those big freezers. And that's something that I think I'm going to inherit, and I'm going to put that in my school bus. It's funny, I could have a connection to get a school bus right now, except the person who sells body parts is not a friend of our family. As a matter of fact, he hates, yeah, like those rappers. Very few of them which are attractive, and yet they're wearing these big fat gold chains. And but the thing is, being attracted to somebody with power, they're still the one with power. It's not you. And you got to realize, and these people that are attracted to people just because of the power they have and stuff, you got to realize that with this imbalance of power, what you like is what that other person has. It's not what you have. What does that have to do with you? You're liking what they have. And plus, nobody likes to be appreciated just for what they could do with other people for. That's kind of lame. Because sooner or later you got to figure out that you're being used, and nobody likes to be used unless you're either masochistic or you get off on the imbalance of power thinking, okay, you're enjoying these things I could do for you, but then that means you owe me, and then I can do whatever. And that's when you hear about these scumbag men that do sexual harassment and all kinds of things. And even though that makes the bad guys, it's bad for the bad guys, because then people start thinking, well, everybody's like that, and everybody's not like that. Sea bass? Hmm. I don't know if I've ever had sea bass before. I love fish. I would hate to be allergic to fish. I know some people that, because of concerns over mercury, they don't eat canned tuna anymore. And the thing is, I can't take mercury. Thimerosal, which is a preservative used in eye drops, that is that's a mercury compound. Hi, Char. How you doing? Happy New Year. So, since I'm allergic to thimerosal, does that mean that I shouldn't eat shellfish and seafood and stuff? I love canned fish. Give me canned tuna and oil. I put that over white rice or brown rice, but white rice is easier to chew. And I like that lemon pepper seasoning. Shake that on there. Oh, that is so good. And you figure you're getting all the omega-3 fatty acids that are so good for you. And now I heard that they are good for arthritis pain. I didn't know that. I knew that it was good for things like dealing with cholesterol and preventing heart disease, even though my mother already has heart disease. So prevention, forget about it. That ship has sailed. But that doesn't mean that you can't still do everything you can to eat as healthfully as possible. That said, I have binged on my chocolate. I've eaten up the rest of the Hershey's Kisses since I didn't do a double batch of those Christmas cookies. And I'm really mad at myself. I opened up my jar of icing and I ate a third of it. I ate it just like chocolate. I should know better. I love chocolate, you know. And when you think of how many ounces of stuff you're getting, it's actually a better per pound price than the chocolate that I found at Dollar Tree and Dollar Store. And plus, it's a better quality. Like that Palmer's brand is really crappy chocolate, you know. But I'm happy with Hershey's. There's so many good chocolates out there, and of course, the the Lindor truffles. Oh my goodness, they're just the best. Okay, what do you think? I'm going to throw on some cheek colors, but I'm not going to have a lot of emphasis on that since we're supposed to be wearing masks anyway. Um, Interesting. Drug dealers are having a powwow in front of trash cans. Okay, I gotta find one of my palettes. Hold on. No, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm looking for this particular palette. I dropped my Christmas Star palette. You're out. Oh, that reminds me. If you were here in town, I could invite you over because I have. So, okay, I'm going to take this twig out because that's just going to make it harsh. Uh, Also, I'm thinking about what I should do with my weed stuff. Should I go on that weed tuber site or should I start a Patreon and do some account? See, I don't want to go behind the paywall. I don't want to do that. I want to just give my art to people, and then when I finally hit the 1,000 subs marker, then I can have ads put on. And then if I get some affiliating marketing, I could do that. But everybody, and I mean everybody, seems like they are using YouTube to support themselves. Okay, I'm going to do some grinding. There. Okay. Alrighty, I do have something here. Of course, the paraphernalia is in the other room, and I've got to find that other palette that I dropped. You know what? I'm not going to waste time looking for something that I can't find. I'm going to, for highlighter, just going to use the center color here in the Zodiac palette by B&H. And I know that that's not what you're supposed to do, but assuming the mask is going to cover things. And let's see. For the blush, I'm going to dip into the Wild and Alluring by B&H Cosmetics. It has two cheek colors here. And I'm surprised. Now, some people, they are continuing to wear cheek colors while they're wearing their face masks. They just do it a little bit higher so you could see it peeking out of the face mask. I'm going to use this big fluffy brush here by e.l.f. It's supposed to be a concealer brush. And I'm just going to outer third, like this. Then I'm going to break one of my own rules. I'm going to touch Now, when did you turn into such a pothead? I never went through weed so fast as I did that time when your bandmate helped me score some weed, and I wanted to smoke it up all in time before I left Indy because I didn't want to deal with bringing it back in a bus and dealing with, which I think I may have brought a little bit back. Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be for actual coffee. I've used those grinders, and I find that sometimes the grinders actually, the metal spikes actually break off. And I'm thinking, I thought they were made more sturdy than that. Okay, what do you think? So, and if I want here, I can put this on. And here, if I wanted to, I could go out and I could trip the light fantastic, and I could tell the little peons, the little people, you may kiss my ring. And I can inhale. And I'm going to back this up so that you can get another view of my dress. Oh, one of the things that I ordered that should be coming in the next couple of days is a special cage that you can put over top of your nose and put your mask back on. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to give you more breathing room. And how that's supposed to fit with the shield, the filter, I have these PM 2.5s. Now, these are not as good as the N95s, and I do usually wear the N95 for any errands, anything I do. But when I go out and I get dressed up and I'm wearing sequins and sparkly things, then I am going to look as festive as possible. Now you can see how long this is. This is going to be another feet length. So, yeah. So, talk about all dressed up and no place to go. Now, can I breathe in it? Yes, I can. Even though this doesn't have the face shield thing, I have this one also like it. And actually, one of the things I have coming up for my channel, maybe the end of January, I will have a face mask fashion show. Why not, right? And trying to find content that is of universal appeal and is different. And if I get the stuff and I have the stuff, why not do it, right? I want, trying to find things. I realize that there's a lot of people that aren't going to be interested in makeup tutorials, but then there's other people that hate the political stuff, and there's different things. And there's some people that are scared to death of this stuff. So, and it's really hard to keep everybody happy. And I really didn't when I started this YouTube journey, I did not have a specific focus or intent. I just wanted to share my life and feature the things that I thought were interesting. And if other people happen to dig it, well, then that's really great. But I didn't have a real plan. And even though I have been, for the past 3 years, I have been taking any training that I could find for how to do better at the craft of being a YouTube content creator. The experts, they have special videos and things. I watch them when I can. Admittedly, I haven't had as much time now as I did before, especially when some of the live streams started like 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning when maybe I went to bed 3 hours prior. So, yeah, when that happens, then, oh, what's this? Oh, okay. I have to read in this. Oh, another thing I need to do, I need to get stain out of this suede jacket. it just irritates me in the worst way. I haven't worn it in years because of that. Yeah, and I'm using this closet for my clothes now, so that the things that are supposed to get ooh, please don't knock over. Yeah, I'm tripping over stuff on my floor and everything. Oh, I just got this, and I didn't know if it was a shirt or a dress, but this is a dress on me. So I am going to be wearing this in a future video. Even though it's oversized and I don't try to wear oversized things, obviously I want things that fit my body and are flattering on me and don't make me look heavier than I am. But sometimes I find something that from a distance it looks really intriguing, and I'm thinking I want to find a way to make that work. And a lot of times you can belt something in and you can make a dress out of a top and stuff. And I end up with things that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And it gives me a lot more options and things. Let me close my door. I have the thing that I was in search of. Oh, and I discovered the guitar picks are really good for a lot of uses. Guitar picks are my favorite way to scoop a little bit of weed into my bowl. So, yeah. And they're also good for scraping the edges of the inside of the thing. But I'm not going to show this on camera because I don't want YouTube to get pissed off at me. YouTube is really good for that. But you know what? You guys haven't seen my crappy Christmas tree in a while, so I'm thinking this would probably be a good time to do that. Oh, and two of my shoes just fell down off of my thing. Oh, look who's here! Cassie! Cassie girl! Well, this is my tree. Yeah, my interesting tree. And I want to show again a very nice Christmas card that I got this year from a very dear friend. And I didn't want to let this video go by without my showing that. And obviously I haven't fixed this, and I haven't fixed that. I think we're going to be taking these down the next couple of days. I already had a Christmas ball fall into the soapy dishwater, and that's kind of not fun. So I am going to close shortly. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, you should subscribe. I'd love to take you along with me on my adventures. When you do, hit that bell so it looks like it's ringing, and that way you won't miss anything. I post 3 times a day, and I tell it like it is. I'm not politically correct. I'm not going to waste your time, but it's fun in my world sometimes. What am I using to record my videos? Well, right now I'm back on my Lenovo. Even though I thought that I had broken it, I found out that YouTube has this built-in live streaming ability right where it says post video or upload video. Underneath it, it says go live. One day I pressed it and I discovered that you did not need to use up the space in your hard drive. So say when I'm using my Chromebook that I think I really did have a catastrophic failure, that Chromebook is dependent on my Google Photos, and you have a limit of them, which I'm like 80% of my limit to. So I can't afford to fill up. I get this error message whenever I take pictures or whenever I use my Chromebook until it broke. And it said that it was subject to automatic deletion of my content if I didn't start deleting things. So, but when I discovered that I could live stream with it and it doesn't use up any of my hard drive space, I discovered this quite by accident when I was in the Best Buy parking lot using their Wi-Fi. This is when I did not have home Wi-Fi. So yeah, you can use your built-in computer. At least I can tell you about Windows-based, even though the Chromebook is a Chrome OS. And so, but yeah, I do my videos so far directly using the computers themselves. I do have that cell phone. I did learn a few tips and tricks on it, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't really done anything playing around with it because I also have been trying to focus on working my day job. This is the last day of the year, and one of the things that I do on the internet is with these marketing research companies where I take surveys and stuff. And one of them, InstaGC, that I have a love-hate relationship with. They irritate me no end, but they pay me directly into my PayPal account. And it's really important to work up to as close to midnight as possible, and then do my cash out to PayPal so that I will at least know what I made in all of 2020, which has not been much, and then what then is in 2021. So that is important for me to do that. And I never got to catch any of those sales that people did for the skincare and stuff. But there was one thing that I do want to show you that I got the last time I was in Dollar Tree. They had this skincare. It says perfect color. Yes, I can use Skype. I thought that we had to pay for it though. But one of my friends did a Skype thing, and I did Zoom one time. But Skype, I was surprised to learn that some people pay for it. They have such a thing as Skype credits. But one of my friends in Washington D.C. did a Skype talking. Now you can also use uh, Google. What is it? When I was on the Google Plus social network, we had the video chatting as well as regular texting. What is that? Google. What the hell is it? Let me look on my upper toolbar. Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts is another video platform. Then there's also the video and the texting that's built into Facebook. Usually I just do texting, but occasionally somebody wants to talk on video. But the thing about that is, unless I know that, it's like usually I prefer to do just plain old text. Unless my makeup and everything's on, then I'm happy to do video. But if I'm hanging around the house on a non-filming day, what if I was up real late the night before and I'm just got nothing on my face except skincare and I'm just relaxing, whatever. Then I'm not gonna let you see me at my worst, you know. But those are the things that I do as far as that go directly video conferencing and stuff. I try to talk my mother into doing that so that she could spend more time with her family for the holidays, with the COVID and stuff, but she didn't, because you have to coordinate a time that's good for everybody. And that was really hard for her to do, so she didn't do that. Anyway, this stuff here is supposed to have skin bleaching agents. It's supposed to help get rid of freckles and things, and that is an issue for me and for any white person that's got freckles and stuff and want to get rid of them. Now, that's what my vitamin C is for, and also to a lesser degree the retinoids and stuff. But because I missed the ordinary 23% off sale, and I've been getting skincare in on Wish.com. But anyway, when I was at Dollar Tree, I got 3 of these, and what I do is I put this on in the morning. I put my retinoids and my vitamin C just before I go to bed, and then usually in a couple of hours I wake up anyway, and by then that stuff is sunk in, and then I put this on, and then I let that sink in, and then I put my SPF for the day. I never miss SPF. Even if I'm indoors all day, I wear in the wintertime, I wear an SPF 30, and you can get them real easy at the Dollar Trees. And actually, I'm getting one now that instead of the 4-ounce tube, it's only 3 ounces, but this is a Neutrogena Hydro Boost, and it doesn't feel as greasy as a lot of sunblocks do. But that's what I'm using now for the wintertime for my SPF. So this SPF is the most important skincare that you can use. So, okay, now that I answered your question, I'm going to cut this short so that I can take this dress off. I can smoke some of what I showed you. And then, meanwhile, if anybody in town is going to be at the Tropicana, or if anybody, I have a few friends that live here and wants to hang out or something, let me know. Anybody that remembers my father, if he's haunting any place, he's haunting the Atlantic City Convention Hall. Oh, another thing I'm going to be doing at the end of this month, at the end of January, they're going to be imploding the Trump Plaza building. And I'm going to be covering it from my channel. I'm either going to live stream it from my house or I'm going to be outside filming it. But it might be better to just film from the windows. I could film it from the kitchen window, get a direct view of it. So till then, you guys, please have a happy and safe New Year's Eve. It is 4:20 in my world, even though it's 4:52 p.m. Happy New Year's to everybody. 2020 has been a really weird year. Not terribly, 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 terribly. I actually made friends this year. And I will never forget that even during something so dangerous as a pandemic, I made friends this year. I did a little bit of socializing. I took a chance. And as far as I know, I'm healthy. But I made friends this year. And I don't know if everybody could say that. And I will say that it was due to my having this YouTube channel and being out there. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for every one of you who's watching. So please be safe. Don't drink and drive. Hopefully, you've gotten all your supplies and just stay put. Be careful, please. And if anybody, oh yeah, one other thing. How come there's a prison in the state of New Jersey that they are inoculating them against the virus when there's people like my mother who would sure be more deserving of not getting this virus than a bunch of prisoners? Hello, my mother didn't do anything to society. She didn't break any laws. She didn't do anything to warrant being incarcerated. Where's her shot? You're going to give a bunch of jailbirds and a bunch of prisoners. I'm sorry, but that's not right. That's what I have to say. And if you're a jailbird and you're watching this and you're offended, I'm not going to apologize. Better to not get caught. But why are we inoculating prisoners when we have senior citizens and people with compromised immune systems and people who have heart failure, like my mother? She's 79 years old. She deserves this vaccine, not a bunch of jailbirds. That's wrong. Okay, talk to you soon. Happy New Year. Bye.